Well, the firkins was quite easy. They were 9 gallon in them, and then the kills, there was 18 gallons. You roll them away, and they were quite easy to stand up. But then we got to the 36 gallons. They was quite heavy. 2 types of barrels we used. One was like the dumpy ones, which wasn't too bad to stand up, but we had one they're called the torpedo barrels, long and with the floor being wet. You used to slide about, and it's terrible. And I didn't think I was going to last a week out.
I started in April 1957, straight from school, at the age of 15. And I was in the minor spirit department then, and then graduated because they sort of got a grounding of being in a department there, and went to the order office, the free trade department, accounts department. So I had a very good grounding and a basic grounding of everything that McMullens did.
What I always remember is the love and passion of the workforce, really. Right from a young age, my father introduced me to the brewery at large events, because we would have garden parties at my father's home, and we would have to be on parade, all the children, my brother and I, and we were told to go around and make sure that we made everyone feel welcome. And the people I met were so kind to me. Immediately I felt, wow, this is quite something.
Hayden Misen, who is the other joint managing director, takes responsibility for our managed pubs, and then reporting into me are our tenanted pubs, our production, so our beer, distribution, property departments, and I also get the administration.
One day Eric Mansfield came down to me and he says, I've brought a chap here. He said to do a bit of work with you, and he'll be with you for about a week. And I said, what they called him? And he says, Fergus McMullen. And I said, oh, well, we'll see what we can do, you know. And he stayed with me for a week doing the racking. Went through all the cleaning with me and all that, and we even went for lunch up the amenity block, playing darts for an hour at lunchtime, and we had a really good week, yeah.
We termed filling barrels as racking barrels. When they were racked, they come down a sort of helter-skelter thing, which was pretty noisy. And I remember working down there because my dear father made me do every single job in the brewery for at least a couple of weeks before I could start for real. And one of the jobs was going in the cellar with a lovely chap called Chris Sweeney. And I'll never forget, in those days, 36-gallon barrels were still being used. Now, health and safety wouldn't allow you to do that, too heavy. But he could spin them into the right place across the cellar. It would take me about half an hour to kick this thing and roll it and it'd go off in one direction. And because he worked and so skilled, he could do that. It wasn't his only job, he worked in something else as well. But it was really there to store all this lovely beer in the basement. Conditions were perfect.
I can remember now we did a thing with Foster's where at the end of it, I think it was done on a sort of a knockout type basis, but at the end of it we sent 2 people to Australia.
Terry, you go to the annual pensioners' dinner,
yes,
at McMullens.
In September we've got, I think they'd taken us down the Thames or something with a jazz band or something, from what I can gather looking at the notes, which sounds good. It's a nice compliment, if you like, to the previous employment, isn't it?
So for a long time, McMullens has been a vital part of this community.
I think it has, going all those years back to 1827 when the brewery started, and certainly in recent times under the current management they're much more looking to open up into the community with family open days and other events locally to put Max deep in the heart of what's going on in Hertford.
The stables for McMullens horses
were in Port Vale, opposite Russell Street. A chap called Bill Ball, who worked at X and looked after the horses, and he was an enormous chap. And people called him the Thunderball because his voice ricocheted off the walls of those houses. And it was quite scary. It was such a booming voice. And the Port Vale residents, many of whom are tenants of McMullens because of working there, would not wind him up, but would say enough to get some kind of comment back from Thunderball. And he would bring these large horses sometimes with their medals on if they were going off somewhere.
So was that would have been about 60 years ago, something like that?
Well, gosh, Andrew, no, that wasn't a kind thought. It's much easier to say 1960 and